Score editor. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you saw last week's video, we talked about the score editor and just how to open it and some basics of how it's useful. And so today what I wanted to do is just talk a little bit more about that and working with the score editor in a little more detail. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna duplicate this track just so you can see multiple tracks here. And then I'm gonna do Option, Control, and then equals to open up that score editor. And so basically now we see the two tracks here, right? So the harpsichord duplicate and then the harpsichord. And so basically by making this duplicate here, all I wanted to show you is that you can see multiple tracks within this editor. And I also wanted to show you that you can see the track list over here on the left side of this window. So within the score editor, it's pretty simple compared to some other windows within Pro Tools, right? So we have just a little toolbar at the top here, and then we have our actual score that we can see. And if we have multiple pages, there'll be multiple pages here. But other than that, it's pretty simple, right? So just like I would in the track section of my edit window, I'm just gonna simplify things really quickly by clicking on this little dot, and now it's back to just the one track that we have here. You can also right click and duplicate, you can right click and delete, stuff like that. So that's another thing you can do. So that's the track section. At the top left here, we have all our edit tools, right? So you have the zoom tool, and this works just like it works with the rest of Pro Tools, right? So you can click here to zoom in. You can option click to zoom out. I believe it's alt click on a Windows machine. You can click and drag to highlight to zoom. And you can click and drag over, kind of a weird section here if you want. And it'll highlight straight to whatever you drag, right? So you can highlight just this treble and bass clef here, this line of music, or you can also highlight like a line and a half basically, right? So it's got the treble clef from this one that's highlighted, right? So you can click and drag to zoom in on whatever section you want. It doesn't have to obey any rules really. It's just gonna, whatever you highlight here, whatever you click and drag over, it's going to then zoom in on exactly that spot. And so then we have the trim tool right here. And so the trim tool, it kind of works the same way as it works in the rest of Pro Tools, but it's also a little bit different just by virtue of the fact that we, instead of having clips here, we have actual notes that we're working with. So basically, if you hover towards the edge of a note here, you can click and drag it out, and that will change the value of that note, right? We also have the selector tool here, and it works very similarly to how it works in the rest of Pro Tools, right? So you can just click and drag to highlight different sections of notes, just like you would with clips, right? And you'll notice here in the score editor that whatever is highlighted is in blue. So that's one way you can see what you have selected, what you have highlighted. So I could just select these, and then I could, for example, drag all of them down. If I want to transpose them a bit, that's a lot. But yeah, so the selector tool is really handy for just selecting notes so that you can then drag them around, move them. You can also delete them. So I can just hit delete here and they'll disappear. And now it's just rests. We also have the grabber tool here, which you might have just noticed me using, right? So we can click and drag notes around with the grabber tool, move them over in time, shift them up or down. It's pretty handy. I said handy for the grabber tool. Didn't even think about that. I'm gonna pretend I'm not super amused by that. All right. So then we have the pencil tool. It kind of works the same way you might use it in the rest of Pro Tools, right? But basically you can just click to add more notes, stuff like that. And I'll cover this stuff in a second here, but basically I'm gonna move on to this stuff because it's a little easier to explain first. So basically this section here shows us where we are within our score. So as I move my cursor around, you'll notice that it changes and it shows me what bar and beat marker I'm on, and it also shows me what pitch I'm hovering over, right? So this is a D and it says D4. So we're all good, right? So that's that section. It's just the cursor location section. Then we have over here our grid information. And so you might notice this pops up no matter what edit mode you're in Pro Tools. So like I'm in slip right now, I believe, but let's check. Yep, I'm in slip right now. But even though I'm in slip mode, it's showing us the grid information. So you'll just see here some info on your grid, and you can just click here to change the resolution value of that grid. So I'm just going to return to the selection tool here, and then basically you'll notice as I click around here to change where my cursor is located, this big blue cursor, this is where our edit selection starts. And so you'll notice over here in this last section, it shows us where that edit selection starts and ends. So right now I'm just clicking around so it has the same start and end point. But if I click and highlight, it will display differently. And you'll also notice if I click on the grabber tool here, if I click to select a note, or even, shift in multiple notes or highlight multiple notes, it will then show me where the beginning of my selection is right here. Okay, and so in this section here, we have a bunch of info on MIDI editing. And some of this stuff I might go into more detail in another video because we're kind of running out of time here. So right here, we have the MIDI note duration. So you can just click on this little drop down here to change that value. We also have the MIDI velocity right here. So right now it's at 100. It can go up to 127, I believe. So if I type 200, yeah, it just goes to 127. So basically I can make it really low. So I can make it so the velocity is 7. So that's going to be a really quiet, a really softly pressed note, so to speak. Whereas if we set it to a higher value, it's going to be a much louder, much more forceful note. So it'll sound like, for example, if it's emulating a piano, it'll sound like the note was hit a lot harder, right? And so this last section here is actually pretty handy. So it's just the play MIDI notes when editing. So it's just a binary thing. You can just click it on or off. And so when this is on like this, instead of off, this is what it looks like when it's off. When it's on, if you just click on a note, you're going to hear the note play. So you can actually hear what you're working with. So then we have these 3 sections here. I'm just going to skim over these really quickly because I'm running out of time, but I will talk about these more in maybe a segment where I go into more detail on the score editor, or maybe I'll make a video that's more focused on working with MIDI. So right here we have mirrored MIDI editing. And so right now it's off. If I click on it, it's blue. Now it's on. And so what this does is basically in music, we have a lot of repetition, right? So we have a lot of note patterns that are gonna be repeated. And so what this does, this might not be the best piece of music to actually demonstrate it because this isn't a super repetitive piece of music. Most music is a lot more repetitive, right? Especially nowadays. It looks for those looped sections, those repeated sections. And if I make a change to one of them, it will make the same change to all the others. So it can really speed up your workflow, especially if you're working on something that has a lot of repeated sections, a lot of loops, for example, right? If you're working on something that's more sample-based or loop-based, this is going to be a great tool for you to use. So then up here, we have a link timeline and edit selection. I believe I covered this in a previous video, so I'm not going to go into it now. I'll see if I can find that video and put a card up on the screen for you guys. And so then up here, this is just the double bar line button. So basically, it'll add a double bar line to the end of your composition, your piece, your clip of MIDI, right? So if I click here, you'll see it pop up at the bottom down here. And that's it. It kind of makes it look more like an official score, right? Because in music, we add a double bar line at the end of our composition. Okay, so that's most of what I wanted to cover in the score editor today. I know this is going to probably run long, this video, but let me just show you a few last things here really quickly, and then we'll be done. So over here, you can just double click to actually change the name of this track, right? So, blah. And so that's another way to change your track title, right? You can also double click here to change a lot of information about the piece. So you can change the title and the composer. I forget what this was called, so I'm not going to give it the wrong name here because this is actually taken from a classical composition off the internet. But you can change the name here and it'll populate up here at the top. And so then within the score setup window, besides just changing the title and the composer name, this is all going to be display stuff. So as you go down here, you'll see the options that we have, right? So we can display the title and composer, we can hide it, we can have page numbers on our actual page, which is great for if you're going to print it out for a musician, right? You can have it show or hide your bar numbers here. So you see these popping up here. And these bar numbers are going to be really handy if you're doing rehearsals with musicians. So you print this up, give it to the musicians, the band leader, whoever it is, and then they can use the bar numbers as reference points when they're actually doing the rehearsals. You can also have the track names display or hide. So my wonderful blah can be hidden, right? If I had multiple tracks, it would hide or display the multiple track names. And then depending on what you're working on, you can also have your chord symbols and chord diagrams actually displayed or hidden. So here we have our spacing section. This is just how it looks visually, right? So for example, below the title and composer here, I can add more space and you'll see this shift to add that space. So this is all just going to be for visual purposes, right? So I can make that smaller, a little more crunched, a little harder to read, or you can make it bigger, right? So that the musician can see it a little more clearly. It's a little more spaced out, a little easier to read. It's kind of all about their preference and what your preference is. And of course, making it easy to read is going to be a priority here. But yeah, basically this is all spacing stuff. And then you have the layout stuff here, and this is all just very similar to what you'd see in a Word document, for example, right? So you can make it a letter size, you can make it legal, tabloid, A4. So these are all just standards for different paper sizes. So it's going to depend on what size paper you have for your printer and what you want to, put in that printer and work with. You can make it portrait or landscape. I would just work with whatever the musicians want, honestly, but that's just how I do things. And then you can change some things like the staff size and the page margins and whether or not we're measuring things in inches or millimeters. It's all just formatting stuff, right? So it's all just about how it looks. This doesn't actually change the note values or what the actual notes are or anything like that. It's just all layout stuff. And that's pretty self-explanatory, I think. So yeah, that's just the basics of using the score editor. I know there's a lot of stuff that I could have gone into more detail on, but I think I'm going to have to save that for another video. I just wanted to give you the basics today, and I'm running a little long for this video. So, I want to have enough time to edit and upload this for you guys, and I don't want to overwhelm people either. But yeah, I hope some of you guys found this useful. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. That type of feedback is so valuable to me because it helps me figure out what kind of topics to do for future videos. And as always, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends about my channel, watch my other videos on my channel. That's a huge help right now with the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to support my channel more directly, I do have a Patreon. So it's patreon.com/CatoNoise. And my patrons do get access to additional content there. So please feel free to check that out. And I come out with new videos every Wednesday. And thank you for watching. Okay. Musical scores, musical scores, musical scores, musical stuff and things. Musical stuff and things.